Test, test, test. Can you hear me? Video was started. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Bloomington Rotary Club's weekly celebration of service. I'm Steve Wicks, and I'm honored to serve as your president this year. Please silence your electronic devices. We have some technical challenges today, so we will not have the closed captioning, and we're a little bit limited on how far speakers can move away from the podium. Thank you all for getting here on this snowy day. I think Mike Wade wins an award. I think he walked here from home, which is pretty impressive on a day like today. This day in history, December 2nd, 1954, in a vote of 67 to 22, the U.S. Senate censured Joseph McCarthy, Republican from Wisconsin, for conduct that tends to bring the Senate into dishonor and disrepute. No members signed up to deliver today's reflection. We have open spots for next week and the following week as well. If you have something you'd like to say that doesn't cross any political or religious red lines, and you can say it in 3 minutes, please sign up. We were going to do an introduction of a new transfer member. I don't see Elijah here, so we'll skip over that. Tracy will introduce our guest today.
All right, as I call your name, if you would please stand so we can recognize you. First, we have our guest, Jana Likens, guest of Carlos Laverty. Jana? All right, and Brianna Sololo, guest of Jim Bright. And then Rodney Taylor, guest of Heidi Schultz. There. And do we have anyone online, Joy?
Tracy, we do not have any guests, just a bunch of Rotary snow bunnies.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. We have one birthday to celebrate today. Don Cedar sitting over there on the 6th, a birthday. We have several anniversaries to celebrate. On the 7th, our scholarship chair, Jeff Richardson, 4 years with the club. And on the 5th, Jim Harvey, 19 years, 2 stints with our club, 50 years total as a Rotarian. We have a number of announcements. Club holiday party is on December 11th at the Bloomington Country Club. Cash bar opens at 6, followed by dinner at 6:30. Tickets are $60 each. $10 of the ticket price supports club operations. You can pay for the tickets outright, or you can be billed by the club for your tickets. So see me in person or email me if you'd like to join us. Our caterer wants to have a head count by December 4th. So far I've heard from 20 either individuals as couples. So if you haven't talked to me or sent me an email, please do so. Remember, we will have no club meetings the last 2 Tuesdays in December. So December 23rd, December 30th, we won't meet. Please don't come here. One of those dates you actually might not be able to get in, but I'm not sure. Rotary Club organizational member Wheeler Mission has scheduled their 5K run walk dash for shelter, Parse Farm Park, Saturday, December 6th. Please see me if you'd like additional information. Salvation Army bell ringing. 7 club members rang bells this past Saturday at Kroger East and Kroger South. Good news is we have all our spots covered for December 13th. The challenge is for this coming weekend, the 6th, we have 5 Rotarians signed up and we have 7 spots to cover. So we're a service club with over 160 members. Some of our club members can no longer physically handle this type of service work. Some of our club members won't be in town. I don't think, Raj living in Chicago probably shouldn't drive to Bloomington for a 2-hour bell ringing. Some of our club members have other commitments. But still, I can't help but think that we have some club members who are available on Saturday who could ring bells for 2 hours. I find it as an uplifting experience. I wouldn't want to do it every weekend, but once a year, I get a real charge out of it. Both Kroger East and Kroger South, we're kind of in that alcove area, so we're not physically outside. It's not bitter cold. It's not warm either. You're kind of in that between area, and you'll get some gusts of wind. So please, if you can do it this weekend, see either Jonas Chang, Dave Meyer, or me. Send them an email. We are Rotarians. We're called to serve. Last announcement, we have a number of Rotarians who are parking at Henderson and Atwater. The Atwater garage, the elevator on the west side has been broken for a number of weeks. I've asked about when it's going to be repaired. I've not gotten an answer. But the garage on the other side, so the west side is out of order, but the elevator on the east side is working. So Atwater garage remains a viable place. Just remember which side to park on. And now we're ready for the Mystery Rotarian. Remember the rules for the Mystery Rotarian. I'm going to give a clue. If you know the answer, put up your hand. Don't shout it out. And then if you're online, raise your hand electronically. So here's the first clue. A Bloomington area native, this Rotarian studied epidemiology at IU Indianapolis. Balancing studies and 1 to 2 jobs, this club member graduated with honors as a Chancellor's Scholar. If you know the answer, put up your hand. Sounds like someone medical. All right, no takers so far. Second clue. This Rotarian worked at the Indiana Department of Health tracking enteric disease outbreaks. Frustrated by the software, this Rotarian learned programming and built a patient interview interface with conditional formatting and over 1,000 custom entries. Still in use today, this Rotarian's program was described as a game changer by health authorities. Does anyone know the answer? Okay, we have one hand up. All right, third and final clue. Thankfully, this Rotarian returned to Bloomington. Today, this club member works as a senior law clerk with Clendenning, Johnson, and Borer, and is scheduled to graduate from the Maurer School of Law in May of 2026. Put up your hand. Okay, we have a few more. And the answer is one of our newer members, Peyton Flynn. Peyton, could you just stand for a minute so people... So since joining the club earlier this year, Peyton has been a faithful meeting attendee, despite having a law class immediately before our meeting and another law class immediately after our meeting. So yeah, Peyton normally will, kind of slip in at about 11:59, and about 12:55, she's discreetly going out the door. This week she's studying for finals, so we actually get her for a full meeting today. Hopefully after Peyton graduates, she'll be able to practice law here in Bloomington. Peyton also serves as an intern for the Elmore Entrepreneurship Law Clinic. Peyton and her partner, Luke, have a rescued Siamese cat named Toothbrush, which I imagine can lead to interesting conversations about where's my toothbrush. So anyway, Peyton Flynn, congratulations. We're happy to have you in the club. I know you and your partner, Luke, are making decisions as partners, but hopefully after graduation, what will work for the two of you will be for you to land here in Bloomington and for you to be a Rotarian. 50 years from now, the president will honor you as a 50-year Rotarian. Reminder, Rotary 7 areas of focus. This month is disease prevention and treatment. A Bill Gates quote here, which you probably can't read: treatment without prevention is simply unsustainable. And remember, Happy Dollar proceeds in November, December will be given to the Rotary Foundation. That's Rotary International Foundation. And I think at this point, we have a Paul Harris presentation.
Afternoon, Rotarian and guests. A clue. Roll Tide. Any guesses? Roll Tide. Okay, we'll move on. We have one person today we're going to recognize. Will Bakir Abdullah please come up here? If I have to drag you up here, I'll try.
Thanks, Americans.
Yes, okay. I have to change this a little bit because we were going to have another person today. Couldn't make it because of the weather. Bakir, you are a new member of our club. You've already embraced club service projects like the Teacher's Warehouse, Salvation Army Bell Ringing, Charlotte Zitlow Habitat for Humanity House, just to name a few. Bakir has served as a mentor for Real Men Read and director of the Community Kitchen. All this while working on his PhD at IU in African American and African Desopa Studies at IU. He and his wife, Heather, are both from Alabama. Roll Tide might have come in there. And he has some roots with the Alabama Crimson Tide program. While Alabama is not a football school like IU, they try hard with some success. So before we proceed, because this is a big weekend, for those of you that are Hoosier fans, just a very short little brief. If I can get some help here. Hoosiers. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hoosiers. I just wanted to make you feel welcome. This club is recognizing you with a Paul Harris Fellow for your work in the community and service to our club. I'd like to present you with the pin and the certificate, which means that you'll have to get a photograph, right? You know, we had sort of a Thanksgiving dinner together at Sarah Laughlin's for the Friends of the Refugees, and I found out that he really didn't like turkey, but he was very intrigued about the whole wishbone thing. So my wife and I got the wishbone and wrapped it all up, and we're ready for it to dry out to do the ceremony. And Sarah threw it away, but that's all. We're going to find one. Okay. Maybe. Exactly. Okay. Right direction. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. Congratulations to Keir. I meant to ask, after Mr. Rotarian, Byron, I think you were the first one with your hand up. Did you get it right? Okay. And then I think there were several who got it right on the third. Tracy, you might have had your hand up. I think Sally Gaskell, did you have it right? Okay. And then Joy, did anyone have it right online?
No Zoomers had it. Nope.
Okay. Well, I deliberately misled you with the medical clue, so sorry about that. Elijah Ramos, can you come on up? And Jim Bright, if you would come up as well. So we have pretty elaborate ceremonies for new members. Members transferring in from other clubs were not as regimented, but I wanted to recognize that Elijah joined our club here a month or two ago as a transfer member, and I wanted to introduce him to the club. So Elijah Ramos is a Master of Public Affairs student at the O'Neill School, where he's studying public finance, foreign affairs, and national security. Originally from Los Angeles, Elijah's work has been driven by a passion for economic development and public sector reform. In his career so far, he has supported nonprofit operations, helped launch startups, and managed donor systems for organizations across the country. Elijah's passion for community-based development has taken him from South Central Los Angeles to rural villages across Southeast Asia, where he spent 6 months working directly with communities to implement clean water systems. Elijah currently works as Chief Financial Officer for the Institute for American Leadership, a nonprofit think tank in Washington, where he leads many of the organization's marketing and outreach projects. When he's not engaging in his academic and professional pursuits, Elijah enjoys traveling, making music, and exploring new foods. Elijah has been a Rotarian for 2 years, originally joining the Rotary Club of Los Angeles, where he supported various scholarship programs and the Myanmar Water Systems Management Project. We are happy that Elijah is now a member of our club. Please join me in welcoming Elijah Ramos. And we have a couple of minutes for happy dollars. Do you have anyone who's happy? I see Tina in the back, Michael.
I have two happy dollar little notes. One is both daughters, stepson, grandkids, and a myriad of other friends made it to Thanksgiving, and I was very thankful. And then the IU women's volleyball team made it to the NCAA, first time in like 15 years, I think. And the first three games in their division are here this weekend, Thursday, Friday. Tickets are not very expensive, but it's a good time and it's a good, way to support IU.
Yeah, Michael's working today.
I might have mentioned, here's a couple of happy dollars. Better start making some more because this is all I'm giving. Okay. I mentioned this before. My son's working on, I'm glad my son came down for Thanksgiving. He's working on a project at Riley. He's leading the research project. In the final stages of finding actual vaccination for peanut allergy. They're doing a study at Riley and I think 2 other locations around the country. And only one person so far has had a reaction. So they don't know if that person had a placebo or not, but that's a good sign if only one person had a reaction. But additionally, not only could this, what they're hoping for is for this to be a vaccination for peanut allergy, but a vaccination for all food allergies. They hope it shuts off whatever your body does when if it's allergic to a certain food. So this could be absolutely revolutionary. And they're in the final stage. It's still going to be probably 6 months to a year to complete everything. But it's in the works. And I'm proud of my son for doing this. I always call him a little shithead, but he's, but I am really proud of him.
I have 5 happy dollars here, and Art, you should hear what he calls you. Anyway, for doing bell ringing with Dad at the Kroger South on Saturday, it was a lot of fun, and it was good to get over there because we usually do the Kroger on College Mall, and we know everybody there. So we didn't know anybody at Kroger South. And by the way, it's warmer there. I'm just telling you. But there was a gentleman who rode a bike and he had like 3 layers of coats and he had a walking stick and kind of, you know who I'm talking about. And he kind of struggled walking in and he asked what Salvation Army was about. And we told him, and he pulled out 4 ones and put them in the bucket. And you know, the classic bias. I thought, my God, I feel like we're probably raising this for him. And he took the $4 out and put it in. He really said, I love what you guys are doing. Thank you. So you never know. Don't judge. And to Steve's point, it's good to get out there and help.
Yes. Sandy. Oh,
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on. I had a wonderful experience happen, and it was just a reflection on the entire community and what we do here with our organizations. But about 3 weeks ago, we were asked to videotape somebody who was on one of our boards because they were receiving a nice award in our community and for their volunteer work through the real estate association here. And he was just given an address to show up, and he didn't realize he was actually coming to my sister's closet because that's where they want to do the video. And after it was all done, he walked up to us and he said, I hope it's okay for me to tell you this, but I have heard about my sister's closet my entire life because my mom was living in a shelter and my sister was in one foster home and I was in another foster home. And it was really, really difficult for her to bring us all together. But she got a voucher from my sister's closet and you guys made it happen for her. And then you kept in touch with her for several years to be able to help her move forward into other jobs. And so I will always help my sister's closet. But we got help by the shelter. We got help with, one organization after another, like the community kitchen. And he says, I just love this community and everything that it does. And it was just a very warm, fuzzy moment because you never hear from the son of a client from several years ago. And it was just long-term impacts that happen again and again.
"69 days until pitchers and catchers report."
Thank you all. And Jim Bright will introduce today's speaker.
Thank you, President Steve, and it is an honor to introduce to you today my friend Alan Boyd of the Monroe County Airport Board of Aviation Commissioners. Alan will share his thoughts and insights about the future of our local airport. Alan is a retired Army colonel with 26 years of active service as military intelligence officer, followed by 20 years in executive leadership positions with Collins Aerospace in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and with ITT Aerospace Defense in Fort Wayne. Alan is a veteran of Operation Desert Storm and numerous other operations in the Balkans and Southwest Asia and Korea and other areas of conflict. In the mid-1980s, Alan served as a military aide and emergency operations officer at the White House for President Reagan. How cool is that? He spent his formative years, many of them, in Terre Haute. He holds a Bachelor of Aerospace Engineering degree and a Master of Electrical Engineering degree from Georgia Tech. Is that a football school? Yeah, anyway. He's a recipient of many military and civilian awards, including a Presidential Commendation, the U.S. Army's General Douglas MacArthur Leadership Award, and the Georgia Tech Engineering Honor Award, and many, many more. As a volunteer with Engineers Without Borders, Alan has led clean water and construction teams to communities in Africa and South America. Together with Monroe County Airport Director Carlos Laverty, Alan is a corporate member of our club. Fellow Rotarians, please join me in extending a warm welcome to today's special speaker, Rotarian Alan Boyd.
Okay, let me make sure I got all the rules of engagement right.
I'm using this microphone. The camera's over here somewhere. And I'm fixed in place for the duration. Right? Oh, okay. How cool is that? Say again? I have the clicker. I'm good. And it works. Okay. Thank you for having us today. I'm joined today by Carlos Laverty, our airport director, who's been in place for what, 6 years? Seven. I'm the vice president of a 4-member board. Ken Ritchie, our president, intended to be here today, but fell ill after Thanksgiving in New York City. But also Pat Murphy and Fred Schmucker. Relatively speaking, I'm the newest guy on the board. Fred is the latest acquisition, but he's a reacquisition, coming back after serving terms in the past. So that's the 4 of us. We are your Board of Aviation Commissioners. Earlier this summer, we were at a point at the airport where we were neck deep in a strategic plan update. We were learning a lot. We collected a lot of data. We'd gone through quite a bit of analysis. We were beginning to draw some early conclusions, and I thought it made sense for us to share that with the county council, which we did in July. We talked a lot about development, and I'm going to speak a little bit about development here because that's we are a board of commissioners who are working very much to move the progress bar to the right, and leave you with an airport that's different than the one you had 20 years ago. That generated some attention in the Herald Times. You may have read a newspaper article about that. That got us invited to the other 2 Rotary groups, which we just completed a couple of weeks ago. And I'm happy to be here today to go for third base and go for a triple here. So what I'd like to do very quickly, I know time is limited, and I want to leave room for questions. I'll take you through the current state of the airport, give you an update on what this master plan is, because it's different than what you might think, and it's a lot more rigorous than what you might think. And then talk a little bit about development, and then answer whatever questions you have. How many of you over the last 5 years, let's say, have been to the Monroe County Airport? Is it because of the BEDC event that was held in a hangar out there last summer? Why did you go? Okay. Okay, good. There you go. How many people knew there was a barbershop at the airport? How many of you know there's an Airbnb at the airport? This guy took a double wide trailer, and I don't remember what it was being used for, but he fixed it up. He had this idea. There's a lot of flying nurses coming in and out of here during COVID. So he fixed it up and turned it into what, a 3 or 4 bedroom, magnificent little palace. Marble countertops, you name it. And we get business there. We're actually earning money from an Airbnb at the airport. But I digress a bit. Let me talk to you about the current state. We have 2 what are called fixed base operators, FBOs out there. BMG Jets does jet maintenance, and Cook Aviation tends to Cook's corporate flight activities, as well as provides common services that you would expect of most any airport terminal. And it's good that they do, because we don't have a terminal per se. We have an administration building. If you've been out there, that's kind of it. So the 2 FBOs that we have together perform the variety of services that you see here. It's possible to rent aircraft out there. It's possible to get flight training out there. We have a number of people renting hangars that we own, both for corporate and regional aircraft. Swift Energetics and Engineering, it's a small engineering company that came here about a year ago, is leasing some hangar space from us for a business that they're operating in support of interests in Crane down south. So that's our first tech business to appear out there. And we'll talk about the potential for more before I get done today. Plenty of charter activity. And then as we mentioned, the barber and the Airbnb. Significantly, though, there's over 120 acres of developable property within the fences at the airport today. And that's the key to the airport's future. I don't understand or pretend to know how Indiana Department of Transportation does its math, but this is their math that shows economic impact for the Monroe County Airport, both here locally and then regionally. It's not an insignificant contributor to the economy here, as you can see. Just in the year ending in September, over 30,000 aircraft operations, and aircraft operation being a takeoff or a landing, that averages out to about 82 operations per day over 365 days. The air carrier operations, charter operations, a lot of that's flying IU athletic teams in and out and bringing IU athletic competitors in and out. So a lot of business there. We're restricted pretty much to 737 level flight or level planes. The football team has outgrown us. Hey, by the way, I thought I can, as a Georgia Tech grad, I can think of a whole lot of things to say about go Bama, you know, and roll Tide. We played you all back in the day. And then we got smart. About 100 aircraft, and we sell fuel out there through Cooks. So a lot going on, a lot more than you would imagine is going on out there. I found this chart interesting. Our engineering contractor put this together as amongst other products for our master plan update, just to show the reach that you have from Bloomington, Indiana. It's all over the United States, into the Caribbean, over to Europe. If we zoomed out, you'd see planes actually going out over the Pacific and more up into Canada. So it's a lot more than just a small town airport with some private pilots, boring holes in the sky over the weekends. There's a lot more going on out there than that. And we're happy to have it. We'd like to encourage more. Master plan is our version of a strategic plan. It's mandated by the FAA. It's even funded by the FAA. They ask us to do that, airports of our size, every 5 years. In our case, we'd not actually done a good one for about 10 years. And so the one we're in the process of completing today is all the more important. Once it's done, the airport owns it. It's ours. It's not the county's plan. It's not the city's plan. It's our plan. The airport having brought in a consideration of all those equities that we serve and stakeholders. They asked us to look 20 years into the future. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been in business, and the idea of any business's strategic plan or strategic look is usually about 5 years out. And you're kind of licking your finger and sticking it in the air beyond year one, right? They ask us to do a very serious job looking at aviation trends, technology trends, local and regional trends, community trends, community business trends. So we work very closely with BEDC and other organizations here to ensure that we bring all of that into consideration for this master plan. It typically takes a couple of years to do it. We are well over a year into it, and I'm anticipating that we finish in the spring. The part of this is called an airport layout plan. That it's a subset of the master plan that accounts for all the geography, the infrastructure, everything physical at the airport. That gets us into considerations of zoning, who owns what infrastructure is supplied by whom, on and on. But that's a very comprehensive plan that we have to, once we get that in place, that governs FAA decisions about what to support here, what to help fund here, and whatnot. And let me just show you an example of that here. I've teed up a sum of real and pursuing projects and work to the tune of about $11 million. We're spending over $500,000 to do the master plan update. We are concluding $2.2 million worth of FAA supplied investment in airport lighting. If you flew in and out of the airport today, you would see a completely refreshed lighting system out there on all runways. We are at the point of near completing a $5 million stormwater and an anti-erosion project out there that became all the more necessary in last spring's rains, where they just came and came and came, if you remember. And that exposed a lot of risks and weaknesses that we had, and courtesy of ARPA funds supplied by the county, we're able to address and mitigate just about all of that here by this winter. We're competing for a complete refurb of the air traffic control tower out there. If you've seen it, it's ancient looking. It dates back to the 50s, to the 60s. It's got 1960s and 70s radios inside. We want to bring that up into this century. We need to for safety purposes and to attract more of the business that we want. So we believe we're very competitive with that. We spend a lot of time working with the FAA in that business development and business growth role. Carlos spends a fair amount of time back and forth to Capitol Hill. We've entertained the FAA's air traffic control chief for small airports here just a few months ago, and we think we're in a good position to win the funds to completely modernize the tower. We've also just gone through a major equipment and vehicle refresh that was evidenced this morning. About 2 weeks ago, we had a board meeting where Carlos staged 3 not new, but good condition used trucks with big snowplow blades on the front. And they were flanked by these 2 big these brushes that you see at airports, brushing snow away in formation. And this morning they got a chance to use that. So what would have normally taken them all day to clear the runways out there and make the airport operable again, took them they were done by about 8 o'clock this morning. I had visions of a Die Hard movie when he told me that, but then I saw the pictures and thought, they're all cleared. There's no damaged planes anywhere, and we're all in good shape and well done. So a lot of that comes from Carlos's deputy, Brent Thompson, who's a retired Bloomington fire captain, and we brought on a few years ago, and he runs that airport in concert with Carlos, like you'd expect an old fire captain to do. So we're all proud of that and happy to have them all there. So a lot of going on out there, a lot of investment, a lot of it's FAA investment. We have an annual operating budget of about $1.6 million, which is about to dip down a bit because of Senate Bill 1. And we supply about 50% of that out of airport operations, fees, leases, such things. We have 2 developable tracts, 2 tracts of land out there that are quickly developable that we show here. And I'm going to see if I can do that. 45-acre tract here on the northeast side of the runway. What you're seeing here, this is 48 Kirby Road, and then the fairgrounds are right down here in the lower left in the southeast corner. So a 45-acre tract up here, Kirby and 48, and then an 80-some acre tract up here in the southwest corner of the airport. It looks smaller than this, but that's only because of the angle of the photography masking that. But these are 2 very, very desirable pieces of land. This is also developable in here. 80-some acres in here. It takes a little more work with the terrain, but it's workable. And all of that begins to account for that 200 and some acres. We're getting a lot of attention here. We'll talk about it in a few minutes from businesses that want to come in from out of state, attracted to their business opportunities at Crane. They want to be both near Crane and in Bloomington. Some of them want to be at an airport or prefer to be at an airport. And in one case, it's a CEO requirement that they find property on an airport because he wants that business to be around the aviation business and just aviation in general. So we work closely with BEDC and other stakeholders in reaction to these opportunities, and I'm going to get to talk about that in just a second. First, let me remind you who we see our stakeholders being. Clearly, the FAA is top dog here because we must abide by FAA policy, practices, and procedure in all that we do. We're also heavily funded by the FAA over time. So underneath that are all airport operations and services that I've listed out here. Local and state organizations over here, we certainly work with the county, the city, and the economic development organizations here with BEDC, IEDC, at the state level, the Uplands region, and Indiana Department of Transportation. On the defense side, obviously Crane. We also do occasional work with the National Guard. We host a Civil Air Patrol unit. We have supported several Defense Department aviation exercises over the past year. Earlier this year, we had a Special Operations Command flew a number of helicopters from Fort Campbell, Kentucky to Minnesota. And then back, and they asked for permission to set up a forward refueling point here at the Monroe County Airport, which they came in very quickly, popped it up. Helicopters came in and refueled. It was a night refuel, and then tore it down and went away. We were very happy to support that, and hope that leads to more. We can have FA-18s in from the Navy. We've had pairs of those come in because Crane does a lot of the electronic warfare work on those aircraft. Other defense industry, there are defense contractors here that are gathering around Westgate, around Crane, local industries, of course, IU athletics and IU alumni aviators. There are a number of IU alumni who have planes who come in here for games or the Indy 500, or go to the Uptown Cafe. I don't know what all they do. And then on the education and training side, clearly IU, Ivy Tech, and then a body of flight students in and out. So altogether, those are the stakeholders that we seek to serve and care about. Quick through here, I put this in here only to show you that there is a rigor to this master planning process. We've gone through 1 and 2 into the solutions phase. We're about here, ready to finalize all that before we go through what FAA considers the implementation phase. This is when we will bring in a stakeholder group to the airport in late January to finalize this, finish it up, and then outbrief it. I plan to outbrief this, or we will outbrief this to the county commissioners, council, city, and others when complete. We formed a project advisory committee with many of those stakeholder representatives on it. We've had them out for multiple days, going through what if exercises, and visioning exercises, and all manner of drills to try to elicit from our stakeholders what's important to you. What would you like to see? What do you need? Out of that came a number of ideas. I'm going to set the developable acreage for tech business just to the side for a few seconds and talk about technical education and partnerships. We do on-site aircraft maintenance. Certainly there's a potential to expand that. Avionics engineering and research development, test and evaluation. One thing of note is the unmanned aerial systems work. The state of Indiana, along with DOD and Crane and the Indiana National Guard, is in the process of establishing drone quarters in the state. I believe it would go from Lafayette to Muscatatuck, Atterbury, from there over to Crane, and from there over to Terre Haute. These are kind of low density, not interfering with much aircraft, commercial aircraft operations, where you could safely try or safely fly and do your experimentation with drones, which are increasingly critical. it doesn't make the papers much, but on any given week down on the Texas, New Mexico border, there are at least 1,000 hostile drone penetrations attempted across the border, over 1,000. We're in this arms race, drone, counter drone, measure, countermeasure kind of thing going on here. All services, all nations around the world are having to get engaged in this because of what's come about in Ukraine. Big deal. We'd like to be part of that. We'd like to be supportive of Ukraine. We have space. We have desire. We have opportunity. So we're meeting with some of them tomorrow to see what next steps might be for us at the airport. Big deal. Future advanced air mobility. I can go online today, and if I had $135,000 to spend on it, I could order a quadcopter that I could sit in and fly for 20 minutes. I have to wait 3 years to get it, but I could do it today. I think by the time, now I'm an aerospace engineer, so I think about these things a lot. I'm fully convinced that by the time I would get it 3 years from now, I could probably go 2 hours by just sitting in this thing with a joystick. It's no more complicated for me to fly myself in that drone than it is for your kid to fly his or her drone with his little joystick in the backyard. It's no more complicated. That's kind of Jetsons, if you're my age. If you remember who the Jetsons were, if you don't, go look them up. But we're getting there, and we will see it in my lifetime. I'm 71, so it's soon. The companies have already formed, and they're doing business with these things on both coasts, up in Canada, up in Minnesota, all around us. And we want to be part of that in the right way, in a smart way, as we think this through. But we don't want it to pass us by. Would not mind Monroe County Airport being a place where you could basically take an aerial Uber drone to IND instead of having to drive there. And they could fly that, they just drop you off and fly the drone right on back. It's coming. And then more flight training. We're thinking about what could we do to attract air traffic controller training. This country is in dire need of air traffic controllers. So why not here? Why not some combination of Ivy Tech and IU getting involved and using Monroe County Airport facilities and a new air traffic control tower to make that happen here. It's a good place to do it. We've had interns come here, so we know that works. So excited about that. People in these groups always posit the return of commercial service here like you had, and I think you last had in '98. That's not coming back. We have nothing in the data that we're collecting and analyzing suggests any return of that to Monroe County Airport. It's too easy now to go to Indianapolis. It's just too easy. I can get to IND from my house on southeast side of Bloomington about as quickly as if I lived in Fishers. If you think about it. And so we're not envisioning that. We're envisioning opening the airport up to these kinds of opportunities, but not a return to commercial aviation. It's unless something dramatically different happens. Some of their key ideas: make the community more aware, and we're certainly out trying to make the community more aware. Get this developable land shovel ready, which means utilities. Drone, I mentioned. Someone suggested enhancing the road link to I-69 to make it more accessible. If you think bigger industry out at the airport, Kirby Road might need a little bit of a bit widening. Consider the airport as a hub for all kinds of uses of unmanned aerial systems. medical supplies, food. I mean, you can sit here all afternoon and think you come up with 100 things you could do. And then airport, enhance our hospitality. There's always this notion of we need a terminal. We'd really like to have a real no kidding terminal. If I go to Columbus, the model I have in my head is Columbus, Indiana. I can go over to Columbus and I can go to this campus-like setting where they have an airport that's about the size of ours. They've got a nice, beautiful terminal that actually has a restaurant inside where people make choices to go go out to eat. IU Columbus is there. I mean, it's a beautiful campus setting over there. And why not us? Why not us? Old colonels ask why not, and when. Yeah, saw it. That's what we do. Bottom lines. We're properly applying the funds we get from ARPA, FAA, and others, as well as what we generate ourselves to get this airport in the best possible condition to see business growth. But that's not enough. If we don't develop that property, if we don't bring in additional activity to the airport that you see today is the same airport you'll see 20 years from now. And that's kind of a community decision. Is that what you want, or do you want something more? Do you want something better? I don't go to all the BEDC's functions, but I go to many. And the consistent theme I hear is we're losing population. It's tougher to live here. Housing is an issue, on and on. And so I think we're trying to do what we can to help bring in offsets to those. But we need help to do that. Biggest limiting factor and challenge is sewer availability. And that's where the newspaper guy clicked, and we're going to talk about that. So I want you to understand what that situation is. Over the last 2 years, we've had 4 businesses from out of state come to the airport really wanting to set up shop within our fences. I can't move much. When you think, if you're a CEO of a business wanting to expand, and I've been that guy in 2 places, you kind of go through a checklist like this of location, transportation, quality of life in terms of housing, schools, healthcare, local amenities, wages, and utilities. That's your top level checklist headers. And I've actually put it to use here with the latest opportunity that's come our way over the past 6 months. It's about a $60 million a year business that it's involved in the manufacture of aerospace materials. And I'll just leave it at that because NDAs are in place and you understand. They would be a key supplier to a major Westgate subcontractor, about 100 and so employees. I think that actually went up to about 120. This is the one where they really want to be on an airport. They are looking at other Midwestern alternatives, but BMG keeps coming up over and over as the place they would rather be. They really want to be. So you go through the checklist. Blue is better than green in my coding here. Transportation is fine. Housing, schools, healthcare. There's this constant housing concern, affordable housing that you read about in the papers all the time. It's there with these companies that want to come in. And so we work with BEDC on that, and wages, because they're linked, right? Affordability and wages all go together. Amenities are excellent. Love Bloomington for all the same reasons you love Bloomington. Great place to be. But then you get to utilities, and they can check off electricity, they can check off internet, cable, water, on and on. And they're all good. But sewer, no. No sewer. I'll be done in just a second. I got the message. Aerial photo of the airport. City sewer comes in fairgrounds down here, city sewer comes in up here and goes out. This is the cross runway all the way down here. And this is that 85 acres that's developable. City sewer comes deep into the heart of the airport here, up around about where the traffic control tower is. And then attaches itself to some on-airport sewer infrastructure that's shown in the blue here. The 45-acre parcel is right up here. So all we're asking to do, what we've asked to do, is to be able to add users to this existing sewer infrastructure that is supplied by the City of Bloomington Utilities. The answer has been no. Under conditions associated with annexation, the city's answer is no additional users of Bloomington sewer until the annexation issue is resolved. We are not part of it, an area that's been targeted for annexation, so I'm not sure why the answer to that outcome matters to me or not, quite frankly. I don't know whether things get better or worse or stay the same, regardless of however that court case turns out up in Indianapolis. That's the simplest, fastest, easiest thing for us to do to provide sewer service to these developable parcels and to continue to attract those businesses that would like to come. Alternative is a standalone package plant. A number of small communities or entities out around Monroe County and this region use package plants. They're expensive. Costs about $1 million or $2 million or $2 million to put them in. It costs $100,000 or more a year to operate them. And most people that are employing these things are barely breaking even, if they're breaking even at all. Because they took out bonds, they took out loans, and paying them back is very, very hard. We do not want to go down that road. And then the third alternative, which we're seriously exploring, is look at the next nearest sewer system, and that happens to be Ellettsville. So we are preparing ourselves to reach north to Ellettsville, and in the face of a no from Bloomington in the east. We're not in conflict with the city. No issue there. It's just it's a policy decision that the city's made, and we've got to work around it. We've got to find alternatives. So I'll just stop it there. You've seen pictures of the terminal, I think, in Bloom magazine. That's a ways off. That's less important to us right now than making these acres developable. Okay, I'll take your questions.
We're not going to have time for questions. Alan, will you stay around for a couple of minutes?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much. It's nice to know we have such professional and forward-looking management at our airport. I flew commercially as a student 45 years ago. I've flown in and out of Bloomington in a private plane, and I've had great experiences out there. So Alan, thank you for the presentation. In honor of your talk, a donation will be made this quarter to the Lake Monroe Water Fund. I'd like to thank today's volunteers, Winston Schindel, Tracy Jovanovich, Jim Bright, Joy Harder, Marilyn Wood, Michael Shermis, Amy Osajima. Our next regular meeting will be here on December 9th in the Georgian Room. Jeff Emmel will deliver a talk titled Beyond Disasters and Blood Drives, the Red Cross Work You Haven't Heard About. Please remember, if you can ring bells for the Salvation Army, see me after the meeting or email with either Jonas or Dave Meyer. If you want to go to the holiday party, see me after the meeting or email me. Tyler, will you please share the graphic for the four-way test? And please stand if you are able. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, is it fun?